Yeah.
But I personally don't think it's going to go down 10%. Now, there are areas...
I think it's going to make a slight adjustment downwards, and I think it's going to be gradual, and I think it's going to be healthy, because it's a normal market, and what we had was not a normal market.
But I have to admit, it is true that there are, I mean, I'm seeing still multiple offer situations.
Exactly.
I mean, I must have been in at least 10 in the last 3 weeks, multiple offer situations. And I'm seeing things selling over asking, which is kind of shocking.
In this market, absolutely.
Yeah, you see a lot of multiple offers, but they don't go over asking in this market. So you're very lucky and fortunate, but you're good at what you do, and that's probably why you're able to handle it.
Well, there are some deals out there, and there are people looking to flip property, and there's still investors buying.
Yeah, if you enter in on an NOD, you have
and an NOD
opportunity,
being a notice of default.
A notice of default. You have that opportunity, maybe 70% on the dollar. You have that room. You can't.
It depends. I'm not seeing the banks.
I disagree with that too. I'm sorry.
I'm not seeing the banks as flexible with the short sales now, because we're seeing more short sales.
All right, well, let's take 1 second to tell everybody what a short sale is.
Okay.
Because a short sale is when the bank is willing to allow the seller, the owner, to sell the house for less than they owe the bank, and that's a short sale. So when a bank agrees to a short sale, let's say you bought a house for $600,000. Over time, that house was worth
$550.
No, well, actually, let's say, wait a minute. Let's say you bought it for $6. Let's say then it was worth $8. And you sucked out all your equity, as people have a tendency to do, and now you've borrowed basically 80 to 90% of the value of the house, and now instead of being worth $8, it's worth $750, and you owe $8 1/4.
Right.
So you
That's
don't
taxable
have,
income, though. So.
Well, it is taxable income, but that only if it's foreclosed upon.
If it's refied, it's taxable.
Well, let's do one thing at a time, if we may. Let's talk about if you're going to do a short sale. All right. So you're going to do a short sale means you have to go to the bank with your real estate agent and get their approval to allow you to sell your home for less than you owe.
Right.
All right. So that having been said, you put your house on the market. And let's say you put your house on the market for $800,000. In this market, it's only worth $750. So some poor boob comes in and thinks, "Wow, it's a short sale. I'm getting a bargain. Yay, yay, hooray for me!" And they're actually going to pay, if they're not terribly in touch with the market, they could actually pay more for the house than it's worth in terms of buying in a short sale. So there are short sales that are bargains. There's no question, but my personal experience has been that there are more short sales that are not bargains than are bargains, and you have to have a really good real estate agent.
Look what happens with the short sale. When the bank takes it back, they get 5 brokers to do a BPO, a broker's price opinion, and then what do? We go to the market and we see what are they appraised at. So we give them the value of the market.
You're talking about a short sale? You're talking about a foreclosure?
I'm talking short sale.
Yeah.
And then they go out, the bank prices it according to what the agents have brought in value. They make some adjustments. So the value isn't really there in short pays, and I agree with you on that. But I also think that once the bank starts to get too many short pays, like they did in the early 90s, at that point in time, their ability to lend money is going to hurt them. So they don't want to take all these short pays on. So basically now what we were talking about in this letter about the mod squad coming in and doing, assisting the seller to keep the house and not go back to the bank, because the bank doesn't want them now. They didn't want them in 94, and they're going to get
I've lost you.
I don't think that short sales are better or worse deals than any other property.
I agree with you.
Just like foreclosures. It depends on the property. It depends on the price. You're not really going to overpay, because you're going to have an appraisal. You're going to, and the bank's going to have information. And they do often sell things for under those estimates.
Occasionally, they absolutely do.
However,
there's no question.
It does happen that when they get lots and lots and lots of short sales and they start really coming in, I found in the past banks to be extremely flexible as far as terms and the situation, whereas now they're not that flexible.
And they're not that flexible, and very honestly, I think we're going to see far more short sales happening in areas outside of Los Angeles. Statistically, based on the most recently published statistics, they are showing that there are more short sales and foreclosures both in the Inland Empire and in the Northern California area than there are in Los Angeles.